Let's see if this little guy is going to stay here for me. Morning doves. Oh, no. The males tend to be more aggressive. I think it must be the male. Just scared him off there. I first made friends with mourning doves back in Veracruz, where I had not tracked that they're everywhere in Mexico. I thought I discovered them in Veracruz, and that wasn't the case. But they seemed to be everywhere and very tame and would come by me a lot. Now that one flew off. These are grackles. I call them grackles. I'm not quite sure what they are. Track birds have, when I was a PhD clinical psychology student and doing an internship at Canandaigua VA Hospital on one of the Finger Lakes south of Rochester, my supervisor, Dick Drobitz, would take me bird watching after work. He was a very sweet, very gentle, troubled man, ended up with problems with alcohol. And he had had obviously some difficult surgeries. But he'd take me bird watching. He turned me on to bird watching, and I got too much into the details, the nits and grits of birds. But it has stuck with me, the fascination for birds. And at this point, I'm much less into identifying, and obviously badly sometimes, because I was calling the mourning doves in Veracruz ring-necked doves. And then Google recommended I should call them the Eurasian collared dove. Not much helpful there. The Spanish word is paloma. They use that same word for mourning doves and for pigeons, paloma. Great story, Dick Drobitz. This is a VA hospital way out in the country and not super sophisticated in some ways. One of the less sophisticated practices was that when a new patient came in, they would be brought in front of the entire staff and the psychiatrist. And the game was to second guess what label, and I'm really down on labels and have been hurt by one myself. And in my grad program, we were at war with the faculty over labels. We just did not want to give diagnoses, we were right. We were right. There's more trouble. But if we would do that, we'd sit around and second guess what the psychiatrist was going to say. It was in the big day room right at the edge of a beautiful field. And the other thing that would go on in that room was that Dick would tell me from the calls out in the field what kind of bird was out there. So we're sitting around trying to guess what the psychiatrist is going to call this clearly quite crazy patient. And Dick whispers to me, yellow-breasted sapsucker. And that was one of those points where my mind absolutely snapped, like, what? He was telling me what he had heard out in the field.